I'm Irving, and I'm an Adamaniac. Hello, and welcome to my new show, Adamania. Playing the Batman Arkham games got me thinking about my own history with the character and remembering the old Adam West series. I was 13 when it debuted in 1966, and for the next 3 years I never missed it. It was absurd, stupid, campy, and at times it almost seemed to insult your intelligence. And I loved every minute. Even if you never saw the show, you know this too. It's everywhere. All someone has to do is start saying or singing na 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 na, and everyone around them instantly responds Batman, even if they have no idea why. In the interest of the spread of knowledge, this show explains why people still do all that weird stuff. I call it Adamania in honor of the quintessential Batman, Adam West. Where all these other Batmans, Batman? Whatever. All the others wear body armor and all that. Adam West's Batman is way tougher than that. He wears a long sleeve t-shirt and calls it good. So why don't the bad guys just shoot him? I always wondered that. Along the way, some eventually do pull out the guns and start shooting. What does Batman do? We'll see when we get there. We'll be going episode by episode, and along the way we'll meet some world-class actors and actresses, directors and others who chose to take themselves a little less seriously and be part of this phenomenon. Let's get right to it. We begin with some establishing shots of the Gotham City World's Fair. Eventually we zoom in on the Republic of Moldavia. Now, this is a real place, but at the time it was part of the Soviet Union. I'm guessing we're not supposed to know that and think it's a made-up name. I have to admit it sounds like one. The Prime Minister is about to unveil his country's greatest treasure, but first there's a special ceremony he has to do. This ceremony involves what looks like a cheap wedding cake.
Is traditional Moldavian friendship cake, dear peoples, which I'll now chop for you in the name of...
In the name of Kaboom! A little less baking powder next time. So what was that all about? It doesn't seem to be a robbery. There's nobody following up. If it was an attempted assassination, it was a really lame one. Oh wait, look up.
Why is an orange like a bell?
I got this one. They're both orange except for the bell. They conclude that they're dealing with the Riddler.
That infernal prince of puzzlers who's outwitted us 12 times.
When I grow up, I want to write dialogue like that. That infernal prince of puzzlers. It gets better. Next, the commissioner asks each man in the room if he can handle the Riddler. One by one, they slink away like roaches running from the light. Gotham's finest, everyone. Time to pick up the special red phone.
I don't know who he is behind that mask of his, but I do know when we need him. And we need him now.
He could be anybody. There are so many men in this city with the money and resources to come up with all those gadgets and vehicles, and who also hang out with a teenage kid. Yeah, if only we could narrow it down somehow.
I'll call him, sir.
We're in luck. He's at home.
That's no help. Everybody has a butler who answers the phone these days. When will we ever catch a break with this guy?
My resources are behind you, in full.
You're a real champion, Mr. Wayne.
Indeed you are.
Don't mention it, Mr. Harris. Perhaps if there'd been anti-crime centers of the type you now propose when my own parents were murdered by dastardly criminals.
And we meet Bruce Wayne. He's having a convenient exposition meeting to explain why he's Batman, except he never quite gets around to making the connection. And as we go along in this series, it's pretty much never mentioned again except later in this episode. I missed this first pair of episodes when it came out, so for the next 3 seasons I had no idea why this guy dressed up like a goofball and went around beating people up. And I had even less idea why his sidekick did it. Best I could tell, they were rich and bored and looking for something adventurous to do with their time. I can think of lots better things to do than that. In most incarnations, of course, Batman is this driven, almost psychotic avenging angel who can't help himself. I guess somebody decided that'd be way too dark for this series. And you know what? They were right.
Yes, Alfred?
To the bat phone, sir.
Louder! They didn't hear you in the back of the room.
Forgive me. I'm just reminded I'd promised to take my young ward, Dick Grayson, fishing, if you'll excuse me.
Battling crime in this city is important, and I'm behind you 100%. Oh, look, time to go fishing. Really?
Oh, there you are, Dick. Feel like a bit of fishing?
Holy barracuda! You mean... Sure, Bruce, why not? Sounds swell. Doesn't it, Aunt Harriet?
Meet Dick Grayson and Aunt Harriet. I was a little unclear on whose aunt she was because they both called her that. She's the one clueless person in the house. Everybody else knows that Bruce and Dick are Batman and Robin, and she thinks they're going fishing. A lot. The kind of fishing where they come back with bruises everywhere. They go for the really big fish. We subtly get the idea that they keep her in the dark so she won't worry, even when one of those fish leaves a huge contusion on Dick's face. Bruce takes the call in his private study. It's time to get moving. Hey, it looks like fun. Count me in. One of the great unexplained mysteries of this show was how they got changed while sliding down those poles. And if they slid up, would they change back to their suits? And the Batmobile is no ordinary car.
Atomic batteries to power. Turbines to speed.
Atomic power, which means it sounds impressive, but again, in 1966, you're not supposed to know that atomic power is actually steam power. All the atomic material does is generate heat. But somehow that translates into a jet turbine that basically makes the Batmobile a land rocket. The entrance to the Batcave is cleverly disguised as an overgrown cave entrance. But don't worry, that barricade will keep everybody out. Nobody will ever get curious enough to go past it. Gotham City, 14 miles. Expect to see that footage at least once every episode. See how fast the Batmobile is? It covered that 14 miles in seconds. The episode is called High Diddle Riddle. Jill St. John. Ooh. And Frank Gorshin is the Riddler. This should be good.
Why is an orange like a bell?
Answer. Because they both must be peeled.
Right. You peel an orange and you peel a bell. Get it?
Yes, we get it. You don't need to explain how they're spelled differently and mean different things. We get it. Get used to that, too. In the early days of my reviews, the rest of my crew would read my scripts and get after me for explaining the joke. These writers could have used their help.
The Riddler contrives his plots like artichokes. You have to strip off spiny leaves to reach the heart.
Somebody's help. Batman reasons that the exploding cake was just to get the police to call him in. Gordon wants to know why, since Batman is his deadly nemesis. Wait a minute, does this Batman actually kill? Or does Gordon not know that Batman doesn't kill? Why would he call him that?
The Riddler's mind is twisted. Crime's no fun for him unless it means outwitting us.
Robin's right. He has a strange artistic compulsion to... Artistic. That's it. The meaning of the first clue. The Peel Art Gallery.
World's greatest detective.
Call out your boys, Chief. Stake out that Peel Art Gallery like you would a circus tent.
Yes, sir.
Run that by me again.
Call out your boys, Chief. Stake out that Peel Art Gallery like you would a circus tent.
Yes, sir.
I still have no idea what it's supposed to mean. This dialogue is so wonderful. I am loving this. Batman says, no, let us handle it because it smells like a trap. So let's walk right into it. At the gallery, they get a call on the car phone.
Batman speaking.
I fell in love with Frank Gorshin's Riddler the first time I heard that laugh. He has another riddle.
This is a recording. Before you trip over your cape, Batman, riddle me this. There are 3 men in a boat with 4 cigarettes, but no matches. How do they manage to smoke?
They put the riddle on the back burner, toss the rope up, and begin the famous bat climb.
Maybe your mind's on that cute little teenager who waved to you on the way across town, eh?
Aw, come on, Batman.
So you can see the string holding Robin's cape out straight. So what? It was awesome for the time. And it still holds up because sometimes cheesy effects are more fun than the really fancy ones. They look in the window and see the Riddler committing a dastardly crime.
Got him red-handed.
Batman cuts the grating off the window with a torch and puts it aside. He usually uses that to hang up his cape when he's about to get lucky. They burst in and take down the Riddler for armed robbery. Just then, two guys with cameras charge in and snap pictures.
Batman, you've made a mistake. He didn't steal that cross.
What?
I tell you, it belongs to him. He lent it to me for a show.
Then why, Batman wants to know, was he taking it at gunpoint?
Holy ashtray, he did tip us off. There were 3 men in a boat with 4 cigarettes and no matches. How did they manage to smoke? They threw 1 cigarette overboard and made the boat a cigarette lighter.
They were sure the riddle meant something, but they didn't stop to figure it out before they went charging in? No. The Riddler was giving the guy a light while taking back his artifact. And because Batman jumped to the wrong conclusion and actually placed the Riddler under arrest, he's about to face the most feared villain of all. Lawyer Man. Yes, the Riddler is suing Batman for, you name it.
After you've chewed over this one for a while, look for 2 more. Adios, amigos. See you in court.
Gee, you think that could be? Nah, there's no clues there. Time to go home and sulk.
Legal experts. The $1 million lawsuit filed this morning against Batman for assault, slander, and false arrest appears to have every chance of success.
The lawsuit is only $1 million, though that was a fair amount even for Bruce Wayne in 1966. It might take him 2 days to scrape that much together by digging in his couch. But the bigger problem is that Batman will have to reveal his true identity.
My identity revealed. My value as a secret crime fighter ended. Everything I've trained myself for since my parents were murdered. In the ash can. Gone. Up the chute.
Down the crapper, out the window, up in smoke, over the river, through the woods. What were we talking about? While Bruce mopes, Dick looks over the paper and gets an idea. The Riddler said to look for 2 more riddles, so where can they look for those riddles?
Great Scott, Dick.
In the Batcave, naturally, they're back in uniform because that's what the Batpoles do, I guess. They use the Bat computer to analyze the document and find hidden writing on it.
Look, between the lines.
When is the time of a clock like the whistle of a train?
When it's 2 to 2.
Right you are.
Everything about that scene is just too perfect. From the random button pushing as if it means something, then the little whirly bob thing, the dialogue. I have to see it again.
Look, between the lines.
When is the time of a clock like the whistle of a train?
When it's 2 to 2.
Right you are.
Toot, toot, toot! How did he get through that line? But we're not done yet because the Riddler said there were 2 more. Sorry, I can't help myself. The answer to the next riddle is a glove. Robin puts it together.
I've got it. 222 Glover Avenue.
You've done it again, Chum. Let's just hope we're not too late.
Too late for what? You still don't know what he's up to or what's at that address. We cut to a bunch of goons calling themselves the Molehill Mob, and Jill St. John shaking her butt. Count me in for that last part. Her character's name is Molly, and she's connected to the head of the mob somehow. We're not supposed to guess exactly how they're connected, because in many ways this was a show for kids. The Riddler shows up and leads them through some tunnels. Meanwhile, Batman finds out what's at that address. a disco called What a Way to Go-Go. You gotta love the 60s. Robin is underage, so he can't go in. He waits in the car and watches on the Batscope, which apparently can see anything he decides he wants to look at. While he sits there and rocks to the music, Batman goes inside to investigate. He tries to be casual and not attract attention.
Please, it's Batman!
Right. And yes, she actually said gleeps. Again, gotta love the 60s. He orders orange juice. He better have some bat bucks in that utility belt. And Molly engages him in conversation.
Maybe you can help me. I've got a problem. Why is a quarrel like a bargain?
Well, what master taught you to riddle?
The answer is it takes two to make it. Like beautiful music, like the dance.
Batman chugs his orange juice and then accepts an invitation to dance with Molly. And we get our first look at one of the most memorable things about this series. The Batusi. This was a consistent thing throughout this series. Anytime Batman danced, this is what he did. While Batman is busting a move, a car moves and the Riddler appears near where Robin is rocking out in the Batmobile. This doesn't look good.
You shake a pretty mean cake, Batman.
It's nothing. It's... Yes.
Yes?
Oh, I drink. Doped.
Let's think about this for just a moment. He knows he's walking into the lion's den. He knows the Riddler wants him here. That's why he gave him the address. He knows the woman he's talking to is with the Riddler because she just made it obvious. So he takes a drink from someone in this place and just guzzles it without a second thought. Then he's shocked down to his bat toes when it's drugged. World's greatest detective. I guess Robin is going to have to bust in and save him.
Oh, hey, something's happening. I guess I should move. Eventually. No need to check the perimeter. Who'd want to hurt me? Set the high-tech anti-theft, then stand up here and make a target of myself. Oh, crap, I never saw that coming.
Riddler decides to take the Batmobile along with Robin and gets in to drive it. Let's see what Bruce Wayne's millions can buy for an anti-theft device. I'm hoping it's an ejection seat. That's it. Fireworks to alert the police. If he can't take it, he'll burn it, so Riddler throws a firebomb into it. The fire system activates and puts it out.
Curses! It's got more lives than a cat!
He actually said curses. As they vanish down a manhole, Batman staggers out and tries to drive away. But some cops take his keys because he's in no condition to drive.
Where have they got Robin?
Riddler and crew wheel the unconscious Robin into some kind of lab where the Riddler looks like he's about to perform surgery on Robin. And right here, I'm going to say something that will infuriate some of you, but I can back it up. What I have to say is this. Frank Gorshin was the best Riddler ever. Bar none. When you talk about performances as the Riddler, most people go immediately to Jim Carrey. And he was his usual excellent self as the Riddler. He conveyed the character's flamboyance, his over-the-top antics, his flair for the dramatic. But there was one thing he didn't convey, and that was true menace. We've seen how Frank Gorshin does all those things, and frankly, I think he did them just as well as Jim Carrey did. But watch this.
Mom,
Yes, Doctor.
At last, boy wonder Robin. At last, boy wonder Robin, you and the Caped Crusader both are set for the final bow.
That, my friends, is one scary dude. I truly believe he's a homicidal maniac when he makes that face. And when he makes this pronouncement in that incredibly terrifying tone, I believe him. I don't take anything away from anybody else who's ever played the Riddler. It's a hard character to play because his complexity knows no bounds. But Frank Gorshin set the bar way up in the stratosphere, and nobody else has reached it yet. I'm not sure anybody else can. And the more we see of him in this series, the more you'll see what I mean. So keep watching. The premiere episode ends with what will become the typical cliffhanger. Oh no, they'll never get out of this. Is the bad guy going to win? Find out tomorrow. But notice one thing. He just said same time, same channel. In this pilot, we hadn't thought to call it Bat Time and Bat Channel yet. We'll get there.
To come.
That was even more fun than I remembered. I think part of the reason is because I understand a lot more now than I did when I was 13. For example, I now know why Jill St. John dancing like that made me feel so uncomfortable and what to do about it. It did a pretty good job of establishing the main characters like Alfred, Aunt Harriet, and Commissioner Gordon. I do wonder what Jill St. John's character is doing there, because so far she doesn't seem to be anything but eye candy. Not that I'm complaining about that, but I'm hoping she'll become an actual factor in something later on. I only know one way to find out, so be watching for the next episode. I'm Irving, and I'm an Adamania.